lawn care, landscape, and irrigation service. Check them out, professionalturf.com.
I got a note from Mike who sent us the April-May edition of the Minnesota Educator. I would imagine that's the magazine that goes out to the union members in Education Minnesota. And he's going to help us get through it. Dear Joe and GL, please review your average bi-monthly Minnesota Educator. People on the cover are carrying signs that read, Fire Elon, Bad Doge, Stop the Coup, Tax the Rich. Did they wave the Tax the Rich signs when billionaire Mark Dayton was governor? And the cover is, in fact, members of the union in the rotunda holding all these signs. Next, he says, Mayor, go to page 2. I would suggest waiting to eat before you read that. All right, we go to page 2. And we get a note from whoever this person is, the president, Denise Specht. And her no matter the challenges, we will not surrender our priorities or our values. And she's writing her editorial for the magazine, and her lead is 100 minutes was a long time to listen to President Donald Trump when he was spreading lies about public schools, especially when those lies will be used to harm the educators and students Education Minnesota stands for. I can't read the rest of it because I don't care. It's too long. Now what does he note? Mayor, enjoy page 6 next. Okay, let's go to page 6, even though he's got highlights every page. Let's go to page 6. Oh, boy, another group of photographs. Yes, that's Garage Logic favorite, Keith Ellison. Looking up above Keith is a sign that reads, Make no mistake, Republicans are enabling the destruction of our democracy. And yes, there's Keith. Yeah, there's Keith. He's speaking to the teachers. Okay. I digress, Mayor. Page 5, I have to go backwards. Page 5 is a must-read. This rally to fund our future is the theme, and all union teachers get this, I would think. Magazine means. Also, the NEA National Magazine is just like this. We'll send you one someday. I've been burning them. Please burn and shred when done. Hundreds gather in St. Paul for a rally to fund our future because they get more than the state. They get more than half the state's budget, but they're rallying to fund their future. All right, now what does he say? 14 years of Democratic control, a near $18 billion surplus gone. Now it's all Trump's fault. Does that rally happen if Harris and Walz were in D.C.? That's a great question. Well, yes, I do believe it would, but it would just be focused on them begging for more money. They wouldn't be carrying any signs. So does our government in the salon. No clue why I'm in the union. 28 years public school teacher watching failure. So we're getting this from a teacher. It is hush-hush, but there is a way to avoid some of your dues going to the Democrat Party. Mayor, oh my, please check out today.com and scroll down to how does Education Minnesota spend my dues money? Oh, it's called optouttoday.com. $2.4 million were spent on airfare and hotels, $1.1 million on office expenses. Education Minnesota paid 200 officers and employees. I love your show and cast of characters. I think I will do my duty to retreat rule. I will try to keep my lunch down. I will retreat now. Mike, I won't say his name. But he's a teacher, 28 years, and he's sharing with us his frustration. Speaking of which, Walz is not backing down from his consideration to cut some funding for private schools, which has been taking place since 1969 when the busing started. And then in 1975, some counselors, some funding. The schools get the funding, and then they can spend it on certain proscribed things. The transportation stipend and whatnot. And this has been going on for more than 50 years. And Walz wants to eliminate the subsidy because of a future budget deficit that is estimated at $6 billion. And
we're talking the problem.
Well, the real problem with this is how can people not see through such a disingenuous statement?
Right.
This fellow has created the problem by allowing that $18 billion surplus to be blown. And now, because that just expanded government and we have more things to pay for, the current deficit to prepare a budget in the next 2 weeks is $6 billion. And he, with as much disingenuousness as I've ever seen, says, we have to trim this $100 million or whatever the amount is from private schools because we're trying to get this deficit under control. That is the work of a foul guy. That's below the belt.
It is.
Cutting funding to non-public schools doesn't resolve the issue for the state that has for decades had a significant disparity between our scholars of color compared to their white counterparts, said Benito Matias, the principal of Ascension School, a small school in North Minneapolis. So I was reading a Channel 4 piece, and they went and talked to some people in private schools.
There is going to be a rally, the Min Dependent. It's mindependent.org, and their mission is to connect and strengthen Minnesota's private and independent schools through programming partnerships and public policy. There's a rally at the Capitol Wednesday, May 7th at 1:30.
Urging lawmakers to save these paltry subsidies.
Yes.
Have we heard from any senators or representatives about this topic?
I bet there is not one DFLer who would vote no. Let me rephrase it. There's probably not one DFLer who would vote to continue the subsidies for non-private, for
Even
public.
if it goes against what they're doing in their own home?
Right. I bet there's not one Democrat who would stand up for this pittance that's been going to private schools for 50 years. And now, out of the blue, because he wants to pretend he's discovered some financial responsibility, this is who he picks on?
You know what?
This is his ideology at work. This has nothing to do with balancing the budget.
You know what this is akin to? Remember a while back they reduced the sales tax or whatever tax by 0.0000